Okay, so welcome to Tolentino Teaching. I just wanted to go over something I do with my punctuation practice activities where students they're given a paragraph and they need to add punctuation to those paragraphs. Now, what I do at this time is I use texts that are difficult for my students to understand. And I do this because paragraphs are a great time to really stretch students in their vocabularies. And it's a great time because the reading is short. So there's only so many words to focus on. And because I'm there to help demystify things, to really show students that a lot of these big words, their meaning isn't that complex. They just have to become more accustomed to these big words. For example, let's look at one of my activities. All right, here's one on Lionel Messi. Okay, so I'll actually use this with my 7th graders. And what we'll do is just a paragraph. So we have to add punctuation to it, right? Because a lot of my students, they just don't use punctuation. And what I'll do is when we're going over the text, a lot of these words are difficult for students. But what we do is we kind of just translate it for them. So, for example, we'll start reading, or I'll start reading, and I'll say, okay, look, Lionel Messi is an Argentine football legend. Where is Lionel Messi from? And everyone knows. My class is that he's like really popular. Like, oh, he's from Argentina. Exactly. He's an Argentine football legend, renowned. So renowned is just a fancy way of saying famous, right? Messi's famous, right? He's one of the most famous people on earth, right? He's renowned. He's famous. So everyone, please write down famous above renowned. Okay. He is renowned for his unparalleled skill. Okay. All this means is no one can match his skill, right? Messi is an amazing dribbler, amazing shooter. He's just an overall amazing player, right? You cannot match his skill. So right here, just put can't match Messi's skill. Okay. And he has innate talent. And I might ask, does anyone know what innate means? And if no one knows, like, no worries. It's not that difficult. Innate just means a natural ability. Like he has a natural gift and talent to play soccer or football, right? So I just have students just write what the words mean, and with a paragraph you can do that. When we read longer texts, it's just going to take too long. Students are going to lose focus. It's going to be overwhelming for them. There's going to be too many words to digest at one time. But a paragraph is a great time to kind of demystify things and expose students to more sophisticated vocabulary. So once we go over the paragraph, students should have a kind of a translated, basically a translated viewpoint in their language. And then we're kind of able to add punctuation and all that. So the only point I'm making right now is paragraphs are a great time to kind of stretch students in their vocabulary. And one of my main goals is to get students accustomed to wrestling with texts that are difficult for them. That's how you're going to grow, right? If you never push yourself with vocabulary, you're not going to grow as a reader and writer. And what happens is the students who do see themselves as stronger readers and writers, or they are more advanced, they keep engaging in text and they engage in this process and they're constantly developing, where students who don't see themselves as strong readers and have limited vocabularies, now they don't engage in this process and the gap just becomes wider and wider. So it is important that some of my students who don't have the biggest vocabularies right now, that they learn how to engage in these texts and get exposed to these words. Okay. So that's what I do. That's why my punctuation practice paragraphs, they tend to come with a lot of great adjectives and academic words. And when you have a paragraph, it's a wonderful time to kind of go over these words and really build students' confidence that they can engage in high school level text. That's what I'll tell them. After I'll say, you know what, this was written, if they're 7th graders, I'll tell them, you know what, this is a high school level text. You just read something with a lot of high school words, even college level words. That is awesome. And then that encourages them. That makes them feel like, oh, wow, I am able to do advanced work. So that's what I do. I have these punctuation practice activities on YouTube and on my website, briantolentino.com. I'll be uploading more. Check them out. If you have any questions, let me know, and hope you have a good one. Thank you.